Welcome back, guys. Let's put this in the ether. You know what? This is from what I think. Women in their 40s and dating. I think that if you are a woman in your 40s and you're dating, right? You have no place in dating. You shouldn't be dating at all because when you look at the idea of a woman who in 40, right? When a woman in their 40 or beyond that, right? Or even 30, right? When you look at these women, what do you think, right? They should already been in a relationship. They should already find a man. Should already have a family, right? And they should be with their family. Should not divorce their family. If you're 40, if you're especially a woman, if you're 40, you should understand that your sexual market value are very diminishing because you're competing with other women out there. You have to understand how sexual market value works. Most women out there, especially women in the 40, don't understand how sexual market value works. Right? When you are older, your sexual market value diminishes. What does that mean? Most people out there, most men especially, would not want to date an older woman. Right? The only people that want to date an older woman or just go out with an older woman are just people that's not committed. Right? A guy do not want to commit to an older woman. Right? And because of that, I don't think women should not date because the probability of them being happy with another man, especially at the 40s, especially when they should have been in a relationship already, right? Before 40, right? It's impractical. There's no use to be dating because you most likely will not be in a relationships, right? You're just gonna hook up with guys and that's it. You're not gonna find any serious commitments. Right, especially with men, especially with men of quality, men that have standards. The only men that are willing to go out with you as a 40-year-old are basically those young cats who want experiences, and the young cat's not gonna wipe you up. Young cats, right? Young dudes, right? Will just only get smashed. That young dudes will not wife up a 40-year-old, right? You think what young dudes have enough resources to maintain a 40-year-old, right? They won't. Right? So for women to have this nerve to be dating in your 40s or even 30s, right? Like if you had if you're in your 40s or 30s or you're still single at that time between that time frame, right? Then you don't know what it's like to be in a committed relationship, right? You don't know how to make sacrifices. You don't know how to compromise for a man, right? In order to be in a relationship, you have to know how to compromise. You can't get everything you want. If you understand how compromise works, you will always be single forever. You're not gonna find anybody, right? So for women, right, they have to find a relationship early in their years, right? 20, 25, and married early. If you don't, right, and stay married, that's it. When you're supposed to stay married indefinitely. The only reason why you shouldn't be married is extreme situation like abuse or if you're widowed, right? That's the only case. And if you're a divorcee, right, you have no reason to be dating a guy who never have children. You putting a guy, right, in a tough situation. You put him a guy that never had any children in a tremendous pressure to live up to a man who have children. I mean, if you are a single mother, right? You should be dating other single parents, like single dads. That's primal. You should be dating guys without any parenthood experiences because it's unfair to the guy. And it's vice versa for the male as well. But I'm talking about the women who are in their 40s who are dating, right? You have no business in dating. If you hadn't got your priorities straight by 40 years old, right? Then you will never get your priorities straight. You will always be single. And you have to live with that decision, right? I think single women should not be dating. Right? If you're single, right, in your 40s, just expect it that you're gonna be alone forever. That's it. Just expect it. I mean, this idea, what I'm saying, is probably gonna stir a lot of negativity, and people are not gonna agree. But this is what I think. Right? Women who are in their 40s should not be dating. Right? You're only gonna saturate the market for no reason. Right? If you hadn't found a man by the age of 40, you will never find a man. Right? You would never find a man by the age of 40 if you hadn't find a man. If you hadn't made a commitment or sacrifice for yourself, right? Or compromise for a man, you would never find him because being with a man, you have to compromise something. And the man has to compromise something too. You just can't be with a man and the man has to compromise everything and you don't have to compromise anything. No. In a woman, when you're 40, you do not have leverage at all. Right? You don't have no youth. Your fertility is gone. Right? You can't provide children. Right, you can, but it's expensive, right? Because you have to deal with medical procedure and all that stuff, right? And you're not as fertile as a young woman, so your leverage diminish, right? Because your leverage is diminished, it's gonna be harder for you to find a guy who want to be with you. So what are the probability? I'm not saying you're not gonna find anybody, but the probability of that is very slim to none, right? So you're doing yourself a disservice. If you're 40 years old and you're married already, just do yourself a favor and stay married. Don't try to divorce your husband. Don't try to get back on the market. You know how hard it is for a 40-year-old to get back on the market, right? Just don't do that. Right? Just stay married, right? Work things out with your husband. There might be something that you have to compromise a little bit, but you do not want to put yourself back in the market. You know how tough it is? You don't know how, have you seen all these videos of women out there complaining that they divorced their husband and it's tougher for them to be in the dating market again than it is for them to be a husband? The objective for a woman in life is to be with family. You already have a family, and what you do, you sabotage that by divorcing your husband. That's self-sabotage, right? Do you have any idea what you're doing? Most women out there, the objective is to have a family, and you already have a family, and you sabotage that, right? And you have no, if you sabotage your whole family already just for wanting to be dating again, you get every disastrous or outcome ever, right? You get every anything that's miserable, you get everything that's coming to you because you sabotage yourself, big time, right? Women ultimately want to have a family. They want to have a family, right? And you, as a 40-year-old woman, sabotage your marriage just to be dating again. That doesn't make any sense, right? This is why I think 40-year-old women should not be dating at all, right? They should be dating, right? And a divorced father, right? If he has choices, he's not gonna date a single woman. I mean, a single 40-year-old. He's not, because a man is totally different. If he's divorced, right, and he's older and he's 40, his value is totally different from a 40-year-old. If anything, his value is more desired because he has more resources than it is for a 20-year-old. Younger women are more gravitates to an older man because the older man have more resources than a woman, right? A younger man not going to gravitate to an older woman because of her resources. The only reason why a younger man wouldn't gravitate to an older woman is because of sex and the experience of him trying to have sex. That's it. Because it's harder for a young man to get sex, and he's going to gravitate to an easiest source of sex, which is older women, right? Sure, he'll bang a younger woman, but an older woman, right, it's easier to get for him because he's younger. Because the older woman want a younger man, but he's not going to wife her up, right? But back to my point, right? If you're 40, do yourself a favor, especially a 40-year-old woman, right? This idea, 40-year-old man is totally different, right? The dynamic is different, right? So if you're a 40-year-old woman, you shouldn't be dating at all, right? Especially at your age, because you don't gain no benefit at all. You're doing yourself a disservice. You're putting yourself at a disadvantage, right? And and they're gonna say, "Oh, you're being mean." No, I'm just being realistic, man. You have to understand what your position is, what your sexual market value is. Your sexual market is very low when you're a 40-year-old woman. Since you have to understand, if your sexual market value is very low, right, it's best to stay with your husband, right? You already got good things coming if you have a family. You have a family, a husband to take care of you, right? All you really need is to connect more with your husband. If your husband needs you to do something, just listen to him, right? I'm not telling you to be a slave, but you have to compromise somewhere, right? In a relationship, there have to be compromises to make a relationship work, right? Because you have to live by your oath and vow and promises that death do you part, right? If you break a vow, the consequences is that you're gonna suffer even more if you're gonna break that vow. You're gonna suffer more. You're gonna find yourself in a harder position. Yeah, you're divorced from the guy that you don't want to be with no more, but the outcome of that, the consequence of that, you're gonna suffer even more because you're gonna find out how hard the dating market is when you're gonna get back on the dating market. You're gonna find out that there's no men out there for you, right? You're gonna find out that fewer men want to date you, especially when you're getting older, right? You're gonna find out all these hard things. Reality gonna hit you like a bag of bricks, right? When you don't think things out, right? This is why I mean that some women don't understand consequences, right? You pay your consequences. These are your consequences. You're not older married women not supposed to get divorced. Pure and simple, they're not, right? Especially if you're 60 or 70, like you already made it that far in your life in marriage. Why are you getting divorced? Right? Divorce is a setup for failure. That's what it is. When you think about divorces, You set yourself up for failure. That's what women don't understand. Right? But that's what I think women in their 40s, right? They shouldn't be dating. Right? They're putting themselves in a disadvantage. But I don't know. But let me know what you think. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. If you like my content, like, share, subscribe, and on that note, guys, as always, peace and blessings.